Welcome to our Pleasant Lake project.
We just wrapped on the photography, so everything is beautifully styled. The leaves on the trees are green. The lake looks beautiful. Come on in and check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, one of my favorite things of this whole project, Grace, was this coffee bar.
It is so pretty. I love the Eastbourne finish on the cabinetry. It just gives a little bit of warmth and movement in the bronze hardware. So pretty.
I remember in the stages where we were laying out the house, we wanted to bring a coffee bar into this project. We wanted it out of the kitchen, and then we came up with this idea of backing it up to the stairs, because the stairs are right there. And the architect was like, well, it's in a hall, is that okay? And yes, I think it worked out great.
The question is, what do you need in a coffee bar for it to be a coffee bar?
Okay, I would say you need enough counter space for your grinder and your machine. But beyond that, you don't really need anything, but you can add a refrigerator, which is what this is, an ice maker, which is here.
Should we do some
Should we Vanna White it?
fridge, ice maker?
Yeah, and extensive countertop space and a ton of storage space.
Another thing you can have built in or add later would be a trash.
That's a really good
Oh,
thing.
and we forgot about the
the
sink.
sink.
Sink and a
Actually, sink
faucet.
is such a nice thing by a coffee bar. Any kind of beverage bar, a sink is really nice.
But big or small, coffee bars.
Are the bomb. They're the bomb. And in this case, this one is great because it's right off the kitchen. And I also love it because it's not in the kitchen, but the coffee bar is off the kitchen. And this layout, I think, is about the most perfect thing for the way this house is being used. We always get questions about sinks and islands.
Yep.
And what am I gonna do with my dishes? And we like these workstation sinks,
Yeah.
like this one from Kohler, because you can tuck the dishes underneath the pieces that come with it, like the butcher block.
Yeah, so this is a Kohler workstation sink. She happens to have one in her house. And it is so useful that it comes with drying racks and a colander and a cutting board. It's just a great thing for if you have a sink in an island or even on a perimeter to be able to hide
Yeah,
stuff.
your sink is in your island.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But this is a cool feature that you'll want to see too. There is a
Yeah.
piece of the countertop in front of the sink, and it's kind of like a faux farmhouse stone sink.
Right. Remember we saw this idea
Yeah.
on a sink in a kitchen in Sweden, I think.
Yeah, we did.
And we're
We
like,
did.
okay, yes.
Yep.
And of course the integrated dishwashers. In this case, there's two because they expect to have a lot of family and friends staying here at the lake
Yep.
house.
Yep.
One of our favorite features is the range alcove. We love range alcoves.
Yes,
I
we
love
do.
them for a lot of
Yep.
reasons. I think they're great because they can capture and extract any kind of steam or vapors.
Yep.
This one's on a remote control. This
Yep.
is a ceiling hood.
Yep.
That's why it can be up so high. But what are the elements? What do you have to have for a range alcove, Grace?
I think it's more about the amount of space.
Like
because-
counter space, you mean?
Yeah, because you could have a range alcove that's on the end of a long run of cabinets. You could have it at its own separate wall like this, but you need to have enough space to have the stove plus counter space. How much counter space?
I think the minimum is 2 feet on each side of the range.
Okay.
That's my
Yep.
kind of rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Of course you can go more,
Yeah.
but I think 2 feet is very nice.
Now the thing about this range alcove that's a little different is,
Wall cabinets.
Yeah.
We don't usually do that, but I think it's perfect here.
yep,
It's so nice for their guests that come here to the lake house to see where all the dishes are.
and I think this is a pretty little addition to a
Yeah,
range alcove.
and how
With
about
little
this?
corbels
Little
that bring it
legs,
down.
Like old butler's pantries.
So pretty. Okay, the last
Okay.
piece is the fridge and freezer combination is right here, but it leads you into this
Yeah,
gorgeous
speaking of pantry. right?
pantry.
Yeah. I think I love this little room. The cool thing is it's 5 feet wide.
So really this is
Yeah, it's a 3-foot aisle.
Yeah.
And then a 2-foot deep countertop. I just think it's great though, and that all of the pantry items are stashed here. There's an extra fridge.
Yep.
I mean, this is great. And it's right off the kitchen.
And a ton of buffet space. So I imagine putting out a huge breakfast here, letting people come through and get the breakfast and
Yeah. Or when people come, you know, they might come with their desserts or their whatever, and it can all lay out here. So it's perfect. The other thing is when you know there's going to be more than one person in a kitchen, you got to figure for more than a one-bed kitchen. In this case, there's probably 3, 4 people working in here at any one time.
yeah, so can you get past me if I'm doing dishes here?
Totally, but here's the biggest thing. Can I get past you if the dishwasher's open? And absolutely. So
It's gotta be 48.
I think it's gotta be 48 inches
Yeah.
wide. I really do. Do you remember the project that we took the banquette out of and put a scullery kitchen in it? But
Oh,
we
yeah,
put
yeah.
one in here.
Yeah.
But we designed the table and the benches so that you can walk in and out. And you
And look
don't
at
have
your
to
view.
scooch.
I think another big thing too for the homeowner, it being a lake house, they were imagining a lot of people eating here. So there also is a dining room adjacent.
Right.
And this is kind of another dining table. So
Yeah. And I think the homeowner thought it would be so fun to have like a kid's spot to just, you know, I don't know,
it's great.
nook into. But it's pretty easy to get in and out of, because that's always my fear about banquettes, is it's not, you get stuck in there. But this is not that way. And look at the cafe curtains.
They're so precious.
Just love them. This was a very fun room to design. A big thing of this whole design was keeping everything open to each other.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
it's about togetherness.
Yep.
Here at the lake. And cuddling or, you know, like snuggling around a fire is so fun. And the June ottoman.
It's so cute with the ruffled skirt.
And the ticking stripe, I just think it's the best. It's perfect for here. So fun. And this situation of just
Right.
indoor, outdoor right here, so good. So good.
It's perfect.
I love this.
I love how this staircase turned out. The dark banister with the dark newel posts with the dark spindles.
Me too.
Everything kind of matches the floor. Doesn't it seem traditional, but then it's like a little take on traditional?
Very much so, because like the paneling that's on the walls feels a little traditional, but there's also much more crisp, like modern elements.
Well, even these light fixtures are pretty modern
true.
and
That's true.
gorgeous.
Yeah, but this was a big discussion we had, because we often like doing railings that are stained, treads that are stained, and risers that are painted white or like trim color, and balusters
And newel posts that are
newel
painted.
points that are
Yeah.
painted. But we decided to go with all wood on the whole railings, and I love it.
I
and
love
I think
it
it's
too.
really good for this house, and I think it's going to last really well for them.
I completely agree.
And I love, love, love the runner.
The runner's so pretty.
Yeah.
So up here, this became kind of like another living room space.
Yeah, like a kid's family room almost, or getaway, the loft, we're calling it. The cutest bunk room. Grace, I could see your kids in here. Wouldn't they?
Oh, they would love
something
it.
Like this?
They would.
All 4 of
love
them.
it.
They could share. Could they share?
I think they could.
The curtains. They're made like for privacy.
Right. This Kelly Ventura fabric too. So cute.
Very cute.
There's some details too, like each of the bunks has crown molding. They've got this applied molding right here. There was just a lot to figure out how to build these bunks in this room that's got not only a vault but also 2 dormers. And so there was just a lot that went into dialing in this room, and it is in fact dialed in.
Totally. It's so pretty. This color blue is gorgeous.
Yep.
And the velvet bench seat, just with
Right,
that
with
burnt
performance,
ochre.
a performance velvet on there.
A bunk room like this is a kid's dream, but it's also a mom's dream.
For sure.
And can I tell you, it's a grandma's dream. I think it is so fabulous.
So many people's dreams fulfilled in one room.
In this room. And the primary. What's your favorite part of this room, Grace?
I love how it feels like it is up in the trees, and it is quite a small footprint, really, for some primary bedrooms are expansive. This is a small footprint, but it has everything you need. Nightstands, bench at the end of the bed, a little spot to sit, and a great bathroom.
Yep. You know what I think helps the small footprint a ton is the small vault. It's not a big vault, but the small vault that gives it just a little bit of height and maybe just a little volume.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think, though, that my favorite part of this whole suite is the bathroom.
Oh, completely agree. I love this room.
I love it. I couldn't love it more.
I feel like, too, it is such an efficient use of space.
Yep.
We design a lot of bathrooms.
Yep.
And we lay out a lot of bathrooms. We're given a lot of, sometimes it's difficult shapes. The door has to be in it. But I feel like this situation where you've got a very nice double vanity. We just put two of our vanities next to each other, two Paddingtons. And then the opposite, the window with the tub underneath it, the corner shower, and then tucked in here, the toilet room. I think this is such an efficient layout.
Yep. And 6 by 6 inch square checkerboard with Carrara and Bardiglio plus walnut.
That's good. It's really, really good.
It's perfect.
Okay.
And there's so many metals being mixed here because we've got bronze light fixtures, brass on the mirror and the hardware, polished nickel on the plumbing fixtures.
It really is our favorite faucet finish. It's mine. It's my favorite polished nickel.
Yep.
I feel like it's easy to take care of and it's very timeless.
Yeah, because it's warm, but it's also cool.
It's different than chrome, and it's definitely a warmer silver than chrome.
Yep.
So I think that's why it looks so good with the other finishes.
Agree.
And the walnut,
So pretty.
tongue and groove wall behind it, just whew. This is kind of a nice feature though, to have a little backsplash.
Totally. Yep.
So that there's no wood on the counter.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice
So the
feature.
moisture doesn't wick up to the wood. It's great.
It's
really
really
fantastic. You get a little privacy with these cafe curtains again.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful large shower, private toilet room.
Yeah, it's great. It's so pretty.
Thank you so much for coming with us on a little tour of our Pleasant Lake project. We love how it turned out, and we hope you do too.
It's true. We're so proud of it, and we hope you join us in our next project.